In this week's update, I'll just briefly touch upon some of the typical topics with our current status and health metrics, health and safety updates, planning, as well as communication and timeline moving forward. So we were very excited to begin last week having hybrid learners come in 4 full days a week. Tomorrow, we're welcoming back another group. And I could not even describe how smooth it went, thank you to the efforts of our staff throughout the entire district. And our kids just truly adapted once again, right along with our staff. So it was incredible to have the energy, to have the positivity, and I'm just so grateful to our staff, our students, and our families that we just continue to take a next step together, evolve together, and we're doing it well. So now, including this week, we have 7 weeks to go till the end of the school year, and so I will say and continue to say that it's time to finish strong. Give it all we got to finish the year strong and come back even stronger together in the fall. So as I mentioned, we have our hybrid learners on site. Our Mondays are remaining remote and early release. Our remote learners are continuing to plug along at home, and our remote staff supporting them are doing the same. And it has been a long haul. It has been a long haul for sure, but they are continuing to do their best every single day. Tomorrow's the big day for our 7th and 8th grade students, so hopefully they're getting ready for bed right now at home and get a good night's sleep, as well as our high school, our 10th and 11th graders to join our freshmen and seniors who are already back 4 days. And then we'll have all of our hybrid kids on site for full days. So this is giving us an opportunity to have more students on site, although not at 100% capacity. We're learning a lot about every aspect of health and safety, every aspect about instructional changes and modifications, and ensuring that we are doing it with health and safety at the forefront. We're continuing to monitor the health metrics in the community, as well as the county and the region, and we see what's happening statewide as well. We know that for some time that monitoring of the community metrics is going to be essential. At moderate levels, at minimal levels, we are going to be able to do just fine with the mitigation strategies we have in place. But we do know that at a certain point, that becomes harder and harder as community levels rise and transmission increases. So it really, truly is an all-in effort, not just inside of our Valley View bubble, but in the larger community as well. We have seen some metrics rising in the county, and we have seen an increase, kind of a slight decrease, and then a little bit of a climb again in our local zip code metrics. So what this means is as those positivity rate is higher in the community, there's more likely going to be cases that we have to ensure that we're monitoring symptoms, screening, and doing everything possible to mitigate and lower risk. What we have shown based on the cases that we have and having 0 to no known transmission of cases inside of the district, that with our safety strategies in place at moderate levels of community positivity, we can maintain a safe and healthy environment for our kids to learn and for our staff to support our kids. So I'm grateful that everyone is continuing to put a high level of importance and vigilance on putting health and safety measures in place. An area I do want to mention that we are monitoring is quarantining the number of students who are being required to quarantine from exposure, either outside of the district or from a positive case from a classmate or a teammate on a sports team. And if you've noticed, some other school districts have started to talk about this a lot because at a certain point, there will be an increase in the number of students quarantining, and that will impact our ability to stay open. I have heard of some districts already having to take a pause, and I certainly do not want to be in that position. So it's truly important that we stay very vigilant with our symptom monitoring, with our quarantining, and all of the efforts to ensure that we keep risk as low as possible. I've mentioned this before, and I'll show this again. It is about layering mitigation strategies to decrease the risk. There's going to be positive cases. We know that. We know that the future is uncertain in terms of how the variants may change. We are seeing more cases of variants and the strains that are showing. We don't know what will happen with that or how it will impact different populations. But what we do know is that these 5 strategies, from masking, distancing, contact tracing, cleaning and disinfection, as well as personal health and hygiene, are critical efforts to keep going forth with no matter what is going on around us. The health reminders will remain, and I will continue to emphasize these, as I know our staff are as well, and we need the partnership with our families to continue to remain very strong, and ensuring that we're being very vigilant and working together as partners if symptoms do arise, or if exposure is known, or if you have contact with a known positive case. I had previously shared a lot about our in-district community vaccination, as well as the high rate of vaccination amongst our Valley View staff, and that is extremely positive news. We're seeing the percentage of vaccination of those immunized across the state in our immediate area starting to increase as well. We see our village partners holding clinics for the residents of Bolingbrook and Romeoville and other community sites through Will County. And we encourage our community, our larger community, to take advantage of these opportunities to schedule appointments, to get vaccinated, because those efforts collectively help us as a district in keeping our staff and our students safe as possible, and in turn keeping our families as safe as possible. So I have some links that are linked in on here. We will also post these on our website and ensure that you spread the word. I know that appointments were difficult to get for a good stretch of time, but there is availability opening up. So we do encourage our larger community to take advantage of these opportunities. I have some exciting news to share in terms of a testing pilot program with the saliva-based screening, SHIELD Illinois. This is a partnership with the Illinois State Board of Education, the Governor's Office, and the Illinois Department of Public Health. And they are planning to pilot the SHIELD test in a number of high schools in Illinois. You may be familiar with the University of Illinois campus and many college campuses and many K-12 campuses as well, starting to use or continuing their use of a saliva-based test as a screening tool. This is another tool that allows you to identify asymptomatic individuals who may be carrying the virus, who then could spread it to others, whether vaccinated or not. And the whole idea around this is that through identification, early identification of those individuals, you can quarantine and limit any exposure to other people, thus reducing risk at a greater level for our staff and students. You see this on college campuses now. You see this a lot in sports programs. And this pilot, essentially Bolingbrook High School was identified. We were able to add Romeoville High School. So we've engaged in many conversations with SHIELD, University of Illinois, and the collections partner to talk through what this pilot program could look like in the spring and summer and going into the fall at our high school campuses. So this is an exciting opportunity that we're currently exploring through many planning conversations, through learning from other districts who have this in place. It's even more exciting that it's no cost to the district to participate, and then also that staff would be provided to administer, collect the samples, and transport the samples to the lab. And then we would get the turnaround and the results very shortly thereafter, and then that would allow us to initiate contact tracing for any known positives. We are currently talking about what that weekly testing would be in place for staff or students at the high schools, and consent would of course be required. So we'll have more information to share with our community about this, but I wanted to mention this to you now. This is another tool, in addition to the testing that we're doing for symptomatic individuals, that would give us the best chance possible to not only keep our schools open, but keep our schools open despite what's going on in the community around us. And that's very exciting to me. Sports, as we know, close contact presents a higher risk. So we have had situations where one positive case because of close contact has caused an entire team to be quarantined. Even currently, we have that in place. So the kids have a lot of contacts throughout the day, from the bus, through their school schedule, through sports and activities. And so this would be another tool in our ability to ensure that we are lowering the risk as much as possible. So at this point, we do not have an official start date. Our school leaders are learning a lot on top of an already full plate. They are asking a lot of questions and thinking through a lot of the variables with a program like this and what this could look like to give us this opportunity to experience it and see what this might look like at a larger scale, practice learn a lot throughout the summer and have this in place in the fall. So I will pause here. I'm certainly not an expert. I'm learning along with them and my colleagues, but if the board has questions or would like to comment, please do. And myself, Assistant Superintendent White, Mary Worster, Executive Director of Student Services, will do our best to answer questions or get a follow-up for you.
So on the shield, does anybody have any questions on any of this? But on the shield, I know we've talked extensively about this, but the cost of administering one of these tests is somewhere upwards of $25 per test. It might even be as close to $30. So to be able to do this at no cost in the test program kind of makes some sense. I know my son and Zach's son both play college baseball, and they've had to take this test to participate in NCAA athletics, and it's a spit test. And sometimes you can spit, you're talking about spitting something the size of a shot glass, essentially, or maybe a little bigger than that. And sometimes you can do it in a couple minutes, sometimes it takes longer. This depends on the person and the day, but apparently it's working very well at the University of Illinois, and for the opportunity to expand this to our program and be a test district, I don't know whose idea it was, if they reached out to us or reach out to them, but appreciate the opportunity, and then as we check into the details later, but the price is right, as they say. So, and if it does some protections for students and staff, athletes, non-athletes, whatever it is, it makes some sense to try and, again, mitigate, because one kid being, we've all, how much of this have you seen and read? 2 weeks ago, I got the Johnson & Johnson test because I waited, I thought that's going to be the one, and 2 days later they said, well, you're probably going to drop dead from a blood clot. Well, I'm still here. So anything we can do to help mitigate these things is fantastic, and I appreciate the efforts on whoever's responsible for that. So thank you. Anybody else have any questions or comments on this?
Okay. Okay, so we will be sharing more information in the high schools as they work through the planning. We'll have information to share with staff and our families and students as well.
Thank you very much.
Just a couple last things as I wrap up. I'm going to continue to share this. We have this information posted online. We have had individuals who have benefited from this Care Solace, which is a care concierge, which is a resource, a very rich and valuable resource to connect individuals with support for mental health and wellness. And so we will continue to share this website and phone number for our families, our students, and our staff. It is critically important. We all know this has been an ultra marathon of stress and change and different hardships that families and individuals have endured. So please share this with someone you know. If you know of a Valley View family, student, staff member, family of a staff member that's in need of support, it's a great service. Assistant Superintendent White's gonna make a few brief comments about summer learning, and then we will wrap up.
Thank you, Superintendent Kender. We are so excited to offer summer learning this summer. We know with the year that our students have had, this in-person learning is going to be an opportunity for them to have academics, social connection, camp activities. And again, we really are excited. So we have several options available. We are going to have 2 sessions. The first session is going to be from June 7th to July 2nd. And within this session, parents will have 3 options. The first option will be for students to attend Valley View summer learning, academics from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock. Option B will be for families to attend morning care, drop off at 7 o'clock if need be. And again, Valley View academics from 9 to 12. Option C will be for families to, if they need camp and academics from 7 o'clock to 6 p.m. in the evening. Again, an opportunity to drop off in the morning, have academics, and then have camp activities in the afternoon. This is free to all of our Valley View families and students. And again, we are excited. Registration, as you can see, there's a link at the very bottom there. This website will be going live and opening tomorrow. Flyers will be going home for students and our families. And we hope that everyone in our community takes advantage of this opportunity. Any questions about summer learning?
Yeah. Is there a limit? Like, is there a limit of number of students that can participate?
So, of course, due to COVID mitigations here that we must follow, there will be capacities for certain sites. However, we are opening it up to all, and we will continue to add sites based on the response. Basically, we can have up to 350 children at each site, and we're open.
So are the sites our schools?
Yes, our sites are our schools, yes. So far, we've identified 6 sites, but again, we'll be identifying more based on families' response and students' enrollment.
And so do we have to have district personnel there, or is that
Yes.
all the adult leadership is
So
from the
yes,
YMCA?
this opportunity is in partnership with the CW Avery YMCA. So therefore, we're going to have, as you all approved those job responsibilities, I believe in March at our last board meeting. So we're going to have Valley View summer coordinators. We're going to have some Valley View teachers involved in this partnership. We're going to have Y coordinators involved, and we're going to have Y teachers as well. So this is definitely a partnership, fantastic opportunity to collaborate, and we hope that this becomes long-term in the future for our families and our students.
Is there an age requirement?
So we are offering elementary and middle school, so this is K through 8. So currently K through 5 students will attend elementary, and 6 through 8 currently enrolled students will attend middle school. Yeah. So we'll be adding some links. Everything's going to be on our website. Again, the flyer, links, and how to register. And we also will be having some nights for families to support them in registering for our students in the future. So, coming up.
Okay, thank you. All right, we will continue to update you on our fall planning efforts. As I've mentioned previously, we are setting the target to have our students full-time in person in the fall. So as you can see, we are working through the process of staffing and posting additional positions to support the optimal class size, as well as adding additional layers of support for intervention and other types of support for our learners. And we're working through that process. With the number of students that we have on site now, we're able to now operate at that next level and have our site set for fall. So we're learning a lot on how to adapt once again to meet the current demands, and then operate at an even higher level come fall. So information will be coming forward. We will be going through a process of collecting feedback from all of our stakeholder groups, and then using that to refine our fall planning efforts. So families and staff will soon, in the next couple weeks, be receiving an opportunity to give input, and then we will use that voice and those individuals to help in refining fall planning efforts, and I'll be bringing updates as they develop. So in closing, our communication will continue. Our schools are the go-to for communication. We'll have our regular updates at the next board meeting on May 10th, and we will continue to do what we do in Valley View, and that's work together for our kids and figure it out no matter what the circumstances are, and adapt and grow together. So that's all I have for this evening in our quest to finish the year strong in this final 7 weeks. Here are a few key dates that we'll be sharing for our staff and our families and our students as we wrap up the year. Some celebrations, and get ready to finish strong, have a solid summer, and get ready to come back stronger in the fall.